Today we're going to take a look at another type of factoring called complex trinomial factoring. It's also known as decomposition. This type of factoring is what we use when we have a number other than 1 in front of our 3-term polynomial. So in this case we have 3 terms here. We have an x squared, an x, and then nothing. But we have a number that's not a 1 in front. So in this case what we're going to actually do is we have to multiply the very first number and the last number together. And instead of, usually we, in simple trinomial, we would just multiply to the very last number. But in this case, we're going to do 6 times 10, which gives us 60. And it's positive. So we need a number that multiplies to 60 and still adds to this middle number here. So that gives us negative 19. And 60. So this is what's different. We need a number that adds to negative 19, multiplies to positive 60. In this case, we can think of 15 times 4. And can we get those to multiply to a positive number and add to a negative number? Well, if we put negative signs on both of those, negative 15 times negative 4 multiplies to a positive because our 2 negatives become positive, and then negative 15 minus 4 is negative 19. What we do next is we're going to be breaking down that middle term, or this negative 19, into our 2 numbers. So we have 6x squared, and then we're going to keep our other 2. So we're going to have 4 minus 4x minus 15x plus 10. So this middle term got broken down into 2 separate terms. And as you can see, what we're going to do next is we're going to group them into 2 sections. Our 6 and our 4 together, and our 15 and our 10. So the first thing we're going to just look at is our first 2 terms. And we need to find something that we can pull out of both of those. So we have an x in both terms, and we also know that we can pull a 2 out of 6 and 4. So we'll start off with 2x. In the brackets, that will leave us with 6x squared. Pull out a 2x. That'll leave us with 3x. We have minus 4x. We pull out a 2x. It's going to leave us with minus 2. Now we can focus on the last 2 terms. We originally have 15 and a 10. In this case, we do not have an x on each term, so we cannot pull an x out. But with a 15 and a 10, that tells us we can pull out a 5. We need to then consider what sign to pull out. So we want the sign in the bracket to be the same as it was here. And in this case, right now, it will be a positive. So if we pull a negative sign out, then the sign in the bracket will become negative. So we can pull out minus 5. If we pull minus 5 out of negative 15x, that's going to leave us with 3x. Or you can think of it as negative 15x divided by negative 5. And then same idea with that 10. We have positive 10, pull out a negative 5, and that leaves us with minus 2. What you'll now notice is these 2 brackets are matching, and we should have brackets that are the same. And why that is because we're going to end up with 2 sets of brackets as our final answer, and one of them is going to have 3x minus 2 in it, and the other one is going to be made from this. We're going to take what we have left, which is our 2x minus 5, and put it in our other bracket. If you were asked for the roots or the zeros and you need to solve it, what you're going to do is you're going to set each bracket to 0. So we're going to have 3x minus 2 equals 0. And then we need to get x by itself. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll bring that 2 over the equal sign and it becomes positive. So 3x equals 2. And then we're going to divide that 3 out. So we're going to have x equals 2 over 3. Same idea over here. We have 2x minus 5 equals 0. We're going to bring that 5 over, it becomes positive, so we have 2x equals 5, and x equals 5 over 2. Now, if we take a look at b, we're going to do the same idea, multiply the very first one by the last term, and that's going to give us negative 10. So we need a number that multiplies to negative 10, and we need a number that adds to positive 9. In this case, we're going to have a 1 and a 10. So 1 times 10 multiplies to 10, but we need it to be negative. So if we make the 1 negative and the 10 positive, that adds to positive 9, multiplies to negative 10. Same idea, we're going to put our two numbers in where our 9x was. So we have 2x squared minus x plus 10x minus 5. We're going to pull something out of the first two numbers here, or the first two terms. We can pull out an x in the brackets. That's going to leave us with 2x minus 1. And then we're going to pull out something from the last two terms, which is a 5, because 5 goes into both 10 and 5. We cannot pull out an x because we only have it in one term. So plus 5, that will leave us with 2x minus 1. Once again, we have those two sets of matching brackets, which is what we want. And then our final answer will be in two brackets, one with a 2x minus 1, and the other one with that x plus 5. Then if we need to solve for the zeros or the roots, we will set each bracket equal to 0. So we have 2x minus 1 equals 0. We bring that negative 1 over, so we have 2x equals 1, and x equals a half. And then over here, we have x plus 5 equals 0. Bring that 5 over, we'll have x equals negative 5. So that's an overview of how to do complex trinomials or decomposition. Feel free to subscribe down below and take a look at other videos of some common math subjects.